Well, there you go. Look how soft that was. It didn't melt the Muggy, but it melted the tab off. Yay! Well, there we go. I'm done. Hey gang, welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. Today's video, well, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. As you know, I've been working on the Coverjet project, and I'm getting panels ready for primer and paint and all that sort of thing. One problem I've run into is the headlight extensions or headlight buckets. These are made out of a pot metal material, and I'm in the middle of working these parts to get them ready for primer, and I discovered that one of these, this little tab right here, has broken off of this extension piece. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to make sure I get everything as close to the factory look as I can. However, as I'm also doing this, I am going to isolate this video. And what I mean by that is, the main video that I'm doing has the bodywork process, stripping the materials. I'm working on some other things as I go, but I think people may be more interested in how I'm going to attempt to fix this. And what I have done is ordered a kit from MIG Weld. Now, I have not used this, and I can't say that I'm very good at soldering or anything like that. I have done that in the past, but it's not something I normally do. I've done a little bit of brazing, I've done welding, all kinds of different things, but I'm going to attempt to use their product. And what they have sent me is this super alloy 1 flux, and it says right on the bottle, and this makes me just a little more cautious, do not breathe fumes. Use only with adequate ventilation, such as fume collectors, ventilators, or air supplied respirators. So a lot of this video I may just be using a respirator while I do it, and maybe do a voiceover as I go along. So in this tube here, which is basically like a piece of PVC, is several of these rods. There are 4 rods, and it looks like 2 are slightly larger than the other. So there's 2 bigger ones, 2 smaller ones. I'm going to attempt to use the smaller ones, I think. And in the instructions, it talks about prepping the metal, and that would mean removing any kind of paint. Even if you could, the edges so that there's a place for the material to go. And it also talks about the heating temperature. This product will melt at, I think, 350 degrees is what I read in the instructions. So they're really pointing out, do not overheat or you could cause more problems. There's a whole bunch of stuff here that I'm not going to read through all of this. These are all kinds of instructions and pointers to help you do the process. Yeah, it says super alloy 1 melts at 350 degrees. So a temperature low enough to melt the rod with an ordinary lighter or match. So I plan to use just this little, I don't know what it is, if it's MAP gas or whatever, but this little bottle to heat this up. So again, I have to clean this area up, clean the paint off and that sort of thing, and then I'm going to put a respirator on and try to take care of this damage. So let me show you where that damage is, and we'll go on from there. So this is where this piece was attached. Now I'm sure this relates to some sort of trim, a little chrome accessory or something that attaches to this. Now my understanding is you could actually build this tab out of this material, or out of the alloy material, but I want to try to save this little piece. So all I want to do is clean up the paint off of this, and I'm going to use this little bristle wheel. So hopefully you can see it's nice and shiny. I'll do the same thing to the other side, and also clean up this little piece. You can see that bristle wheel does a good job of cleaning that up. So these brushes are available on Amazon. These are frequently used in the aircraft industry to clean corrosion. So I'll get all these pieces cleaned up and we'll go on from there. I've cleaned up everything and I've clamped this on. I'm going to try to work this one side. And so I'm going to put the respirator on, but I do have a little brush that I'm going to use to apply the flux. And then I'll heat up this rod. Well, I'll heat up the material here and then try to get the rod to bond to that. So I have to put my respirator on and then we'll get started. I'll point out there is something in the instructions here that says apply the non-corrosive liquid flux to the repair area. An easy method of application is to dip the end of the rod into the flux. The flux will cling to the rod and easily spread with the rod. So let's try that and see what happens. I don't know that it's doing what I want it to. Nope, it's not bonded. Nope. So clearly, I'm not doing something right. Prop that up a little bit. That's a little bit low. Okay, now I'm in experiment phase. So I took a piece of steel and I put behind this. Maybe not the best idea, I don't know. I'm going to try again and see if I can't get this to rebuild that little section right there. We'll find out. I don't know why it's not melting like it says. It says 350 degrees, and this is definitely more than 350 degrees. And it's not wanting to bond to this material. Now I'll remind you, I've never done this before. So this may be an $80 experiment that just goes away. I don't know. That looks a little bit better. I see a gap up here at the top. I may have to try to add more up there. Still not melting on contact like I expected it to. Let's see if it is going to work. That's hot. Going to hold on to that. Nope. So clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Got 4 rods to use up. Supposed to work like magic. feel like I'm wasting your time. I'm gonna let that cool. See if it, if I grind it down, what's gonna happen. So, okay, let's find out. It bonded to the steel pretty good. Great. Great. Well, okay, here's what I'm going to do. You know, I don't know if it matters that the steel is there, but I'm going to try to connect this side and then maybe grind off the steel. I don't know. Maybe I'm in over my head and don't know what I'm doing, which is kind of likely at this point. But I'm going to put some more Muggy on this side and we'll just see what happens. Well, there we go. I'm done. All that was on there just fell apart. Makes no sense. This stuff is supposed to... This makes no sense. This stuff is supposed to melt at 350, which is supposed to be a lower melting point than this material. Nice. So nice. You know, in their videos, they make it look like magic. Like it does, just wave the wand around, get a little heat going, and poof, you've got a whole piece. Okay, don't look at my Frankenstein clamping system here. I've decided just to eliminate that, and I'm going to try to use a piece of aluminum and see if I can't get that to stick. I know this looks terrible, but it's in the right spot. I don't know. I'm going to let that cure, cool off, whatever, and then remove my clamps, see if it stays. Okay. Let's see if I can get this apart without destroying it. How about that? Huh? Clamp, clamp, clamp. Good. Well, that definitely feels a lot better than what was there previously. Clean that up a little. I don't really want to grind it all off. I don't know that I need to, but I'm going to clean it up some. I can still see a line where it's not connected. What I may do, I know I'm running a risk here, I may try to add some material from the other side. I mean, that's probably going to hold it, but let me flip it over and see if we can't get another look at it from this side. Yeah. So a little harder to look at, I guess, in a way. add some bracing. Okay, so there you can see it. There's nothing on this edge that's holding it. And I don't know if I want to risk it. Kind of hard to get this in there. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I mean, it feels like it's holding. Feels like it's holding. So I don't know. I can't tell if it's separating at all whenever I'm flexing that. I'm going to try to add some more material to this. Probably a bad idea. I knew it. All right. One more time. All right. The 27th time is the charm, right? We're going to find out. We'll let that cool again. Okay. Last chance. That does feel much stronger. So grind this down a little. And I can feel, let's flip it over. We'll take a look. See what it's done on the other side. I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. I mean, that actually feels pretty strong right now. I'm not going to try to bend it off and see what breaks. But if it's enough to support that little nut plate that's going to go on there, that's good enough. That's good enough. So I need to trim this a little to try to get it back to the dimensions that it's supposed to be. So I'll grind it down some, and then I'll have to locate the hole where it belongs. Take a measurement off the other one and get that hole in there. So I measured roughly from the edge down is about 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to drill a hole there. Oh, and also I think it was 3/16. Yeah, 3/16 from this little bar piece to the center. Now the hole itself is probably close to 1/4 inch. I have the other one. I'll do a comparison just real quick. So I'm just going to use my step drill to make that a little bigger. I think yeah, it's 1/4 inch 1/4 inch hole. So there we are. That's the size. Just trim it down a little bit. So I'm just going to trim off the bottom edge. The tricky part is this stuff melts at such a low temperature. Okay, that's close I'm going to get, I think. Let's hope that when this goes together, it doesn't have anybody being overly aggressive with it. I don't know if I'm going to be the one putting this part of it together or not. Undecided at this point. Okay, here it is. It is actually feeling very solid. I'm going to just have to run with it the way that is. You know, this other one, the hole is maybe, I can't say if it's in the exact same spot because that tab that I put on the other one is bigger. So I try to get it in line with this edge, you know, like that edge is on the edge of the hole, and then do a drop from the top here. And it may not really matter much. So the edge is pretty much on line with that piece, and then again this is made bigger. So it seems to work. You know, I was having my doubts early on, and obviously I made some mistakes, but there's always a learning curve whenever it comes to doing stuff like this, especially if you haven't used it before. So I'm going to run with it. Okay, so as I said, I have never used this stuff before. I'm not very good at soldering stuff anyway, just don't have enough experience with it. But I feel confident that this little tab is going to stay on this part, and I should be good to go. So I'll keep this stuff on hand. Hopefully I never have to use it again, but I will keep it, you know, stored away for the potential for next time. But if you're willing to give it a shot, it's up to you. I'll post a link to Amazon where I got this stuff, and if you want to follow that link to get some and try it, that's up to you as well. But as it is, that'll be the end of this video. I want to thank you for watching, but I especially want to thank my patrons who continue to support me in making these videos. I hope that you find some benefit from this as well, but that'll be it. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.